It all started with a teammate of mine, Andy Williams, and it was, I believe, 2009.
I think around 4th of July, I think we had a game too that we found out, ended up still playing. I don't remember who we played or what the score was.
His wife was diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia.
Our doctors at LDS said that she would need a blood donor match.
He came to the team in the front office and asked us to put on a drive. All the team got together and just an easy swab kit, take down your information, your phone number, your email, and that was it.
I've seen it work for my wife. People that got swabbed will be in the program for another 15, 20 years, and hopefully, they can be a match for somebody else.
End up getting traded to Philadelphia and then traded out here. 3, 4 years passed without updating any sort of information. The first people they test are your brothers and sisters because they're the most likely to be a match for you, and then they go to the registries that are out there. And my dad was the match for him, and the best possible match for him. So they went out to Arizona. My uncle was out there for a good 8, 9 months, and my dad was out there for a little less than 3 weeks to go through the whole process. To see the sacrifices that he was willing to make really put it into light to me. If I have an opportunity to help save someone's life, there's things that are bigger than sports. There's things that are bigger than the current job that you have, and for me, that was one of them. One day I was in my game room playing video games, and I received an email, and the email basically said, "You're a match."
You don't really think about it because it's been a few years. So when he got that email or that call saying that he was a match, it was pretty shocking.
We were on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. I'm not in a job where I can just kind of take 2 weeks off and it's not a big deal. It's obviously a very big deal. I was on a 1-year contract, so at the end of the year was basically when I'd be coming back, and wasn't guaranteed to have a job at the end of the year. My fiance is pregnant, so there's a lot going on.
Chris came to my office and said, "I need to talk to you about something. I have this opportunity. And I think it might affect my playing for this year, but I 100% want to do it." And I said, "Okay, Chris, let's talk through the options. Let me do some research." We went over all the different types of extraction, and I told him the risks that were involved, the decreased bone mass and those things. All things, especially with a person in his position, hitting the ground every day. They were going to take the bone marrow from his hips. And so there was a big risk of fracture coming back from it. I was more worried about his health than he was. And so that was my role, was to look out for his individual health. And he was just focused on the person that he could help.
All I remember reading was the procedure itself and what they had to do, basically using the term drilling to get this marrow out. It kind of scared me a little bit.
And I must have done 4 or 5 nights straight of research to make sure, because at first I thought I was going to tell him no. And I knew that would absolutely crush his spirit.
Just boarded the airplane, getting ready to take off. Next stop, surgery.
Chris dives on this area 1,000 times a day in training. They extracted the bone marrow right from the back of his hip here, and they took a very large, long needle and dug 36 holes in the back of his hip here and extracted the bone marrow from that area and decreased the bone mass there.
I guess I kind of went into it a little bit too nonchalant. There's definitely moments where I was in shock of the pain. I was thinking of myself in my uncle's situation if my dad wasn't his match. And obviously I would do anything for my uncle to find him a match. Woke up, took a shower, which was nice. Took off all the bandages and wraps and everything, and now I just have 2 little Band-Aids covering up the holes. It's been pretty good. Talked to the doc, got the green light to head home today. Finally made it to Dallas in the car with my beautiful fiance. and heading home.
I think it mostly hit me when I had to pick him up from the airport, and you have this big guy who I'm lifting out of his wheelchair, and I could hardly hold him because he couldn't walk.
It was funny how fast mentally he was back to Chris. Can I get out of bed? When can I come over to the office? When can I get back in the gym and work? And you know, it took a lot of saying, Chris, we need to take this slow. I have to look out for your health. I know you want to get back.
What's up, guys? 3 weeks out. Still on the pool, but upgraded to doing laps and trying to get some interval work in with that. So trying to maintain my fitness as well as try and learn to swim well. So it's going well. Pretty excited about where things are going and hopefully be able to run later this week.
FC Dallas fans, please welcome back from his save, FC Dallas's own Chris Seitz with a big round of applause.
For me to get a call and hear that he's back at work part-time, it makes you know that everything that you sacrificed, everything you went through for this man is helping him get his life back on track.
I'm so grateful that FC Dallas actually allowed him to do this, because people don't understand that finding a match could be difficult for a lot of people. This was Chris's chance to save somebody's life, and why wouldn't you take that opportunity to do that?
I kind of imagine being my uncle. We're all going to know someone that has cancer, and me being a match for someone was really an opportunity for me to help someone out that was in a dire situation. I like to think of paying it forward.
Coming up on MLS Insider.
This is the soccer event of the year, and that's why we attract 50,000 passionate fans. This is the soccer event of the year in the Bay Area, and that's why we attract 50,000 screaming and passionate fans every year for the match.
I think it's the best rivalry in MLS. I think it's got the most history, it's got the most meaningful big games.
For a lot of years, especially over the past 10 years or so, it's been a battle between Northern California, Southern California, LA, San Jose, about who is going to represent the Western Conference and really go to the championship.
For years, the LA Galaxy and San Jose Earthquakes have battled on the pitch in what is known as the California Clásico. And for the players, it has always been more than just another game.
We like to think that Galaxy is the MLS's baby and they get whatever they want and things like that. We're kind of like the stepchild. We love having that little chip on our shoulder, and I think that brings a little extra fire out too.
Perhaps no player embodies both sides of the rivalry more than Landon Donovan, who won 2 MLS Cups with San Jose, then left and won 3 more with LA.
Landon is probably accused of engineering a move back to Los Angeles, so I'm sure that doesn't sit well with the fan base in San Jose.
He was the best player in the league, and he wasn't going to play on their team anymore, so they had a right to be upset.
What I remember most is coming off the field at Spartan Stadium during warm-ups, and I was sort of running up the tunnel, and next thing I knew, something hit me just smack in the face, and someone had balled up a T-shirt, and I tied it together and just whipped it at me.
The rivalry continued to simmer, and in 2012, San Jose scheduled their game with the Galaxy at Stanford Stadium.
You know, we have great crowds in this league. The stadiums are excellent, but anytime it's at that next level and it's a 50,000 crowd and it's sold out, you just kind of think this is what the game's all about, and this is what you've dreamt of, you know, your whole life.
Amazing atmosphere. We had the military service in for the game, which adds a special element to it.
Walking out, I still remember the national anthem and getting chills, just looking around and seeing that they're all here for this game and to watch us play, and that makes it special.
The two teams would treat the impassioned fans to what many consider the 2012 MLS Game of the Year.
It was a wild game. I mean, it started off crazy.
Chavez with play to shore outside him, goes for goal, it's there! Lenhart is there!
We went up a goal, which put us on the front foot, and we were feeling pretty good.
But for San Jose, the good feelings did not last long.
It's Beckham! It's a beauty! That's wonderful football. Jimenez, own goal! 2-1 LA! Jimenez, McGee, and Donovan! Oh, San Jose only have themselves to blame.
The Galaxy now had a 3-1 lead and seemingly control of the game.
We know it was going to be a big mountain to climb because they're a great team, you know, so we were just determined to go out and give everything we had.
What a response from Victor Hernandez. They're back in it. It's one win in their last 12 visits here. Now the breakthrough and the equalizer. Sam Cronin.
With the score tied, San Jose pressed for the lead.
There's a nice little flick, 4-3. They've come from 2 goals down again against LA.
It's pretty cool to be able to score that goal right in front of our fans, the Ultras, and also be able to celebrate with some military men and women.
That amazing 4th goal, Wando, heel tap in, and when he saluted the troops, it was a storybook ending, and it'll be something that all our fans can take with them for many generations to come.
But as the game entered its final moments, the Galaxy looked to change the ending.
It's the perfect corner here. Wasn't quite in. Heavy collision in the near post.
For LA and their star David Beckham, there would be no equalizer, only frustration.
Isn't it? This one is actually Beckham infuriates the players and the referee by pinging the ball in from distance there. That's a booking for David Beckham. That will actually keep him out of the Galaxy's next game as well. And now some back chat too.
It was pretty incredible. I mean, it was a game that had so many twists and turns. I mean, it was just a roller coaster ride of emotion. So to hear the final whistle was a very welcome sound.
A year later, the teams met again at Stanford Stadium, and again, played a game to remember.
Thrown into the area. Oh, there it is! Shea Salinas has scored! Goal! Shea Salinas picked up the loose ball, and he's equalized! We're tied at 2 at Stanford. It goes free to Shea Salinas. Leaves it. Cronin. Chip. Far post. Yeah! Score! Unbelievable! Alan Gordon! Alan Gordon! Alan Gordon mobbed by teammates. San Jose has scored back-to-back goals. And the California Clásico is again a Clásico.
I think there's got to be an extra pep in your step. You know, you're playing a really good team. You know, defending 2-time champions. Plus you're playing, you know, in Stanford Stadium. That adds a special element to it as well. And so, you know, you get up for this one.
When you play in a different stadium in front of a bigger crowd against this team, but even if we've played hundreds and hundreds of games, there is something that feels special about it. And us as players, whether we're the home team or the away team, we love it.
Coming up on MLS Insider.
He sees things 2 or 3 plays before the ball gets to him and before things even develop.
Thierry's joining of the league has been as important as anybody, and the fact that you could have a player of his caliber and his ability want to be here in the prime of his career says a lot about our league, but also says a lot about him and what's important to him.
He's special for me because he's the player who made me dream when I was young. Just the way he was scoring goals, everything, like everything for him, his style, everything. It's just like, you know, when you have an idol. Yeah, that was my idol.
This man is just so incredibly competitive. You could see it on his eyes, you could see it in his face, you could see it in his body language. This man just wants to win.
He's a very pure competitor. When I say pure, I really mean it. Even if you play video games with him, he will kick your ass, and if not, he will be very unhappy.
Every time he gets the ball, he's a threat immediately. He has great awareness and great vision. He has speed. You know, he could definitely kill you with one pass or a great finish.
He is the kind of guy who makes you stop, hold your breath, and say, wow, I just saw something that I will likely never see again.
Just his grace on the pitch, you know, with the ball or without it, gliding through defenders like they're not there, and the way he finishes it, you know.
He's got that type of ability to be able to change games with a single pass or a single shot. He sees things 2 or 3 plays before the ball gets to him and before things even develop. He's just got that type of vision.
That one finishing move he has, when he takes the ball down the left and he opens his body completely and slots it to the far post with his right foot. I mean, people try that in practice. I've tried it, and it's not easy to do.
I think the thing that separates him and the thing that I like the most about him is he's always looking to pass, and he's always looking to try to introduce a teammate into a better scoring position than he could get in.
Just the way he makes his teammates better too. That's what I like on the field.
He wants things done right, and he wants to win. And if those things don't happen, it's not an evil thing. It's just he demands the most out of himself and the most out of his players, and sometimes that could be difficult.
I think the one word that I would describe him as is driven.
Special.
Accomplished.
Simple. Very simple, very, very, very nice guy.
Funny, charming.
For me, he's a football genius, and people will say genius is for just smart guys, but I know him as a person, so yeah, he's a genius.
Coming up on MLS Insider.
Welcome to MLS Storytime Theater. Welcome to MLS Storytime Theater. I'm El Campeon del Mundo, Judah Friedlander. Today's story is called The Matador and the Mohawk. Luis Hernandez, aka El Matador, is to this day the greatest goal scorer for Mexico in World Cup history. And in 2000, when MLS was still a baby, the league made its first big money deal by signing Hernandez for many millones de dólares. The league wanted Hernandez to play in Los Angeles, where he would attract millones de supporters to the Rose Bowl to help grow the new league. The problem was that under league rules in the early days, the Galaxy were already at their limit of foreign allocations. NAFTA was not going to solve this problem. FIFA overrules NAFTA. To work it out, the Galaxy were required to put 2 players, including a neatly coiffed youngster from the South named Clint Mathis, into a dispersal draft, where the teams with the worst records could take them. The Metro Stars picked Mathis, and El Matador was allowed to join the Galaxy. No one was happier about this than Mathis, who started scoring goals like crazy and flashing his I Love New York undershirt in celebration. Clint set an MLS record with 5 goals in one game, was named to the MLS Best 11, led the Metros from worst to first in the East, and scored the 2001 MLS Goal of the Year.
And now Mathis at the other end on the counter. Mathis goes up against Ryan Suarez, gets by Suarez, has help from Ramos. Mathis takes it himself into the 18.
Within 2 years, the Luis Hernandez experiment in LA was over. El Matador was back in Mexico, while Clint was on the cover of Sports Illustrated with the headline, America's Best. Not exactly the poetry of world champion, but good for you, Clint. Mathis celebrated by shaving his hair into a mohawk and scoring a huge goal for the U.S. in the 2002 World Cup against home side South Korea. I can still remember the announcers screaming, "That's why he's here!" And it still brings chills to me today. In MLS, he eventually joined Real Salt Lake. And in the 2009 MLS Cup final, when Real and the Galaxy went to penalties, Clint got them again, scoring the first goal in the shootout, propelling Real to their first MLS Cup. So where's the lesson in all of this? Is it in the mohawk? Is it in the undershirt? Is it in the money? You're gonna have to figure that out yourself. You can't always rely on the world champion to do all the work for you. You can do it. El Campeón del Mundo believes in you. I am the world champion, Judah Friedlander. Join me next time for MLS Storytime Theater.
On the next MLS Insider.
This is the game that brings you home. So, what were the names of those towns we walked through and into?